This video is for a parent, a cousin, a sibling, a friend, someone who has someone else in your family, in your circle, who really loves classic movies, foreign movies, movies that you aren't necessarily familiar with. Maybe you aren't as knowledgeable with the greater whole and history of movies, but you have someone in your vicinity, in your life, who really loves cinema, and you've probably heard them talk about the Criterion Collection. The Criterion Collection, to put this in a short way, helps to promote and preserve important films throughout history. And what you're looking for is some of these films from this label that you've heard of, and you might be able to find them on sale at Barnes & Noble or online, and you think that what would someone like that want to have? What would they look forward to in terms of a present, a Christmas present, a birthday present? So what I did in this video was I picked 5 that I felt like are pretty safe choices. They're very popular, they're very watchable, and I enjoy all of them. And I came from a place where I knew nothing about film and sort of self-taught myself over the years great films through films like this. So without further ado, here are my 5 recommendations. Now, it's very likely that whoever you're shopping for loves snappy, witty dialogue and great drama and excellent cinematography, a smooth-looking image, and they want to have a lot of fun with their movies. They're probably going to Do the Right Thing. Set one block on Brooklyn's red do-or-die neighborhood at the height of summer. This masterpiece from 1989 confirms Spike Lee as a writer and filmmaker. Over the course of a single day, interactions of a cast of unforgettable characters give way to heated confrontations as tensions rise along racial fault lines, exploding into violence. It's very funny, it's very entertaining, and it's very rewatchable. This is a film that you don't watch once and put down. So if I'm thinking of something that somebody might like to see more than once, that would make a great gift. This will, and it has a beautiful presentation here. It looks cool. This brick wall looking thing, it pops off and catches the eye. And I think it's from the film. There's a important wall where these guys hang out. They're going to like this most likely. Now, if you have somebody who likes the modern Academy Awards scene and they love great acting and they want to see something a little bit more current that the collection has that did well with the awards, right? That's a little bit more familiar to them, then I would suggest this film that I can't show you the whole cover because YouTube rules, but this is called Anora, contemporary cinema's foremost chronicler of American dreamers and schemers. Hustling on the margins of capitalist promise, Sean Baker reaches new heights of mastery. With a screwball comedy in part, it's also a drama about this sex worker who ends up in a very serious relationship with someone who's rich. And there's a lot of the family not loving that. And there's a lot of class struggle and warfare. It's funny, it's engaging, again, exhilarating, very easy to recommend because it did do so well. I think Mikey Madison, the actress, did win the Academy Award. It won at something called the Cannes Film Festival, if you've never heard that. And it's just a very engaging film. Again, it's hard to miss with Anora. I just believe you would be well suited to get that one. Now, if you have someone in your family who loves old Hollywood, and they really love the Marlon Brandos, or they talk about Humphrey Bogart, or older actors, and they love Casablanca, stuff like that, and you want to give them something from the Criterion Collection that they maybe haven't heard of, but that's really good and has a really good reputation, and is, again, very entertaining, very easy to follow, that you yourself might really like if you haven't heard of it. I'm recommending one of my favorites from old Hollywood in that vein called Leave Her to Heaven. And this was from a book. And it's about this woman. I'll just simplify it for you. This woman on a train meets this man. She falls in love and becomes completely possessive of his life. He has a brother with some disabilities, and she kind of gets jealous of the brother because he takes attention away from her. She has a sister. There's some dynamics there. It's a really good family drama. And it's a really kind of terrifying movie in a way that if you already like old Hollywood stuff, I think, or the person that you're gifting it to, they're going to really enjoy Leave Her to Heaven. And this is a little bit forgotten sometimes among these sorts of films. So I really recommend Leave Her to Heaven in that vein. If you're like me and you love deserts and you love the countryside, there's some beautiful shots in there of New Mexico as well. Now, my last two recommendations are kind of dependent on the person a little bit. Do they want to see a great rom-com, a great romantic comedy? Do they want something that's also going to challenge them in their knowledge and history of cinema? And you might really surprise them with something great. One of the films in the collection that's consistently ranked among the great rom-coms of all time, and it's a silent film. So there's not like synced audio with voices, but this is a really famous one, a really good one of my favorite romantic comedies, City Lights, often called the most cherished of Chaplin films. And this is really hard not to like because Chaplin's this like bum on the streets who ends up becoming friends with a rich guy who only likes him when he's drunk. And then he meets this blind girl and they kind of fall in love, and he's got to help her like pay bills and stuff. Endearing, timeless, really funny, really easy to watch. And it's a great one to watch with the family. I think if you have somebody who has told you, I love silent film, I love really older stuff, I want to learn about Charlie Chaplin. If they mentioned Buster Keaton to you before, try City Lights. Try it yourself. You might really like it. And finally, a lot of times people in these circles who love the Criterion Collection, a lot of them are going to like Japanese movies. I have found that that's very often a language that people will watch, even if they primarily watch English movies. So I wanted to recommend to you one of the most premier, well-known Japanese films that, if you're familiar with Letterboxd or Letterboxd, the social media app for movies, this film consistently ranks the highest, or if among the highest. So this is pretty much a can't miss. This is called Harakiri by Masiku Kobayashi. Following the collapse of his clan, an unemployed samurai, it's got samurai, arrives at this manor, begging to be allowed to commit ritual suicide on the property. And there's this whole plot around the use and the misuse of this honorable version of suicide called Harakiri. And it is a fascinating tale. Class, honor, costumes, all of these big ideas are thrown onto the screen. And one of the most famous, if not the famous, besides, you may have heard of the Seven Samurai films. So that person may have said to you in your life, I love the Seven Samurai. Harakiri might be a great recommendation for them. So that is what I have for you, some ideas if you're shopping for Christmas or just a birthday present or something like that, that I think are ones that are just very hard to miss. It's very likely that somebody's going to like those films if they're already into movies, cinema history. If you found this helpful today and want to give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. And those of you that have a lot of experience with Criterion that follow my channel, you can give, kind of simple recommendations as well that you think, hey, I was new to movies, or, this is something I would like as someone who loves movies. And we'll see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.